Captain Jake Martinez stood on the bridge of the USS Horizon, watching the stars through the large viewing window. The ship moved slowly through space, far from Earth. Jake had been in command for 3 years now, and he knew this job well. His crew was small but good at their work. "Captain, we are getting close to the edge of our patrol area," said Lisa Park. She was the navigator, a smart woman who never made mistakes with the star maps. Lisa had been with Jake since he first got command of the Horizon. "Good. Let's do one more sweep of this sector before we head back," Jake replied. He walked over to his command chair and sat down. The bridge was quiet except for the soft hum of the ship's engines. Ryan Cole, the chief engineer, was checking the ship's systems from his station. Ryan was a big man with rough hands from years of working on machines. He knew every part of the Horizon like it was his own body. "All systems are running smooth, Captain," he said without looking up. Amy Stone sat at the communications station. She was young but very good with the radio equipment. Amy could pick up signals from very far away, even when they were weak. She wore headphones and listened carefully to the empty space around them. The USS Horizon was not a big ship. It had a crew of only 40 people. Their job was to patrol the outer areas of human space and look for anything strange or dangerous. Most of the time, they found nothing but empty space and old rocks floating around stars. Jake liked it that way. Space was big and mostly empty. That made it peaceful. He had seen enough fighting during the war with the Mars colonies 10 years ago. Now he was happy to fly around and keep the peace. "Captain," Amy said suddenly. Her voice was excited. "I'm picking up something weird." Jake turned to look at her. "What kind of weird?" Amy took off her headphones and looked at her screen. "It's a signal, but not like anything I've heard before. It's coming from the Kepler 442 system." "That system is supposed to be empty," Lisa said. She checked her star charts. No planets that can support life. Just a dying star. "Play the signal," Jake ordered. Amy pressed some buttons and the bridge filled with strange sounds. It was not like human radio signals. The sounds went up and down in patterns that seemed to mean something, but Jake could not understand what. "It keeps repeating," Amy said. "The same pattern over and over. Captain, I think this might be a distress call." Ryan looked up from his station. "Distress call? From who?" "There's nobody out there. Maybe there is now," Jake said quietly. He felt his heart beating faster. In all his years in space, he had never heard anything like this signal. Amy worked on her equipment for several minutes. "Captain, I'm picking up mathematical sequences in the signal. Numbers and star charts. This is definitely from something intelligent. How far away?" Jake asked. Lisa checked her instruments. "The Kepler 442 system is about 6 light hours from here. If we go to full speed, we can be there in 8 hours." Jake stood up and walked to the viewing window. Out there in the dark, someone or something was calling for help. But it was not human. That was clear from the strange signal. This would be humanity's first contact with aliens. "Captain," Ryan said, "maybe we should report this to Earth Command first." "This is big, really big." Jake knew Ryan was right. The rules said they should report any contact with alien life immediately. Earth Command would want to know about this right away. They would probably send a whole fleet to investigate. But that would take weeks, maybe months. And the signal sounded desperate. "Amy, can you tell anything else about the signal?" Jake asked. Amy listened through her headphones again. "It's getting weaker, Captain. Whatever is sending it, they're in trouble. Bad trouble." Jake closed his eyes and thought. If these were humans sending the distress call, he would not think twice about helping. But these were aliens. Nobody knew if they were friendly or dangerous. Nobody knew what they wanted, but they were calling for help. "Lisa, set course for Kepler 442, Jake said. "Maximum speed." "Captain, Ryan said. "Are you sure about this?" Jake looked at his crew. These were good people. They trusted him to make the right choices. If someone is in trouble, we help them. That's what humans do. That's what makes us human. Lisa began entering the course into the navigation computer. "Course set, Captain. We'll be there in 8 hours. Amy, keep monitoring that signal. Let me know if anything changes." "Yes, sir." Jake sat back down in his command chair. Through the viewing window, he could see the stars moving as the ship turned toward the Kepler 442 system. In 8 hours, they would learn if humanity was alone in the universe or not, and they would find out what kind of species humans really were. The USS Horizon picked up speed and headed into the unknown. Behind them, the signal from Kepler 442 continued to call out across the empty space, weaker with each passing hour. Whatever was out there was running out of time. 8 hours later, the USS Horizon dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Kepler 442 system. Jake Martinez stood on the bridge, looking at the main screen with his mouth open. What he saw there would stay in his memory forever. "My God," Lisa Park whispered from her navigation station. Hundreds of ships floated in space near the dying star. The ships were huge, much bigger than anything humans had ever built. They were shaped like long tears, with smooth curves that caught the red light from the dying star. Some of the ships were dark, others flickered with weak lights. "Amy, are you getting anything from them?" Jake asked. Amy Stone worked quickly at her communication station. "Yes, Captain. The distress signal is much stronger now. And I'm picking up other signals too. Lots of them. These ships are full of life." Ryan Cole was studying his instruments. "Captain, I'm reading massive power failures across their fleet. Most of their ships are running on emergency power only." Jake counted the ships on the screen. There were more than 200 of them. If each ship carried thousands of people, that meant hundreds of thousands of alien lives were in danger. "Can we talk to them, Amy?" Jake asked. "I'm trying, Captain. Their communication system is different from ours, but I think I can make it work." Amy worked on her equipment for several minutes. Strange sounds came from the speakers. Then suddenly a voice spoke. The voice was deep and musical, speaking words that Jake could not understand. But there was something in the voice that sounded worried and tired. "This is Captain Jake Martinez of the human vessel USS Horizon," Jake said slowly into his communicator. "We received your distress call. We are here to help." The alien voice spoke again, faster this time. Then there was silence for a long moment. Dr. Helen Wright came onto the bridge. She was the ship's language expert, a small woman with gray hair who knew 12 human languages. "Captain, I heard we made contact. Let me listen to their speech." "Patterns." Jake nodded. "Amy, can you play back what they said?" Amy played the alien voice again. Dr. Wright listened carefully, taking notes on her tablet. "Interesting," she said. "The language structure is complex, but I can see patterns. Give me some time, and I think I can work out a basic translation." "System, how much time?" Jake asked. "A few hours, maybe less if they keep talking." The alien voice came through the speakers again. This time it sounded more urgent. "They're trying to tell us something important," Amy said. "The signal is getting stronger. I think they're moving one of their ships closer to us." On the main screen, one of the large alien ships was slowly moving toward the USS Horizon. The ship was beautiful, with silver and blue markings along its sides, but Jake could see that parts of it were dark, and it moved slowly like it was hurt. "Captain," Ryan said, "I'm reading massive radiation levels from that dying star. It's giving off some kind of exotic energy that I've never seen before. I think that's what's killing their ships." Jake thought about this. The aliens had come too close to a dying star, and it was poisoning their ships somehow. They were trapped here, too weak to escape. Can we help them fix their ships? Jake asked Ryan. Ryan studied his readings. Maybe. Their technology is different from ours, but the basic ideas look the same. They use some kind of controlled fusion for power, just like we do. If I could get close to one of their ships, I might be able to figure out how to help. Dr. Wright looked up from her tablet. Captain, I'm starting to understand some of their words. They keep saying something that might mean help or save. And they use a word that could mean children or young ones. I think they have families. On those ships, Jake felt a cold feeling in his stomach. Families, children, all of them dying slowly while their ships failed around them. The alien voice spoke again, and this time Dr. Wright translated as she listened. They're saying ... welcome ... strange friends from the stars. They're asking if we really came to help them. Jake picked up his communicator. Dr. Wright, can you translate what I say? I'll try, Captain. Jake spoke slowly and clearly. We are humans from the planet Earth. We heard your call for help and we came as fast as we could. We want to help you save your people. Dr. Wright worked on her tablet, then spoke into her own communicator in the alien language. Her words sounded rough compared to the musical alien voice, but she tried her best. The response came quickly. The alien voice was excited now. They're saying their name for themselves, Dr. Wright translated. Something like Zephyrians. Their leader is called Admiral Kethler. He says they are refugees. Their homeworld was destroyed, and they've been traveling in space for many years looking for a new home. How many of them are there? Jake asked. Dr. Wright asked the question in the alien language. The answer made her face go white. 50,000. Captain, 50,000 people on those ships, and their life support systems are failing. They have maybe 3 days before. She could not finish the sentence. Jake looked at the screen showing hundreds of dying ships. 50,000 alien people, including children, were about to die unless someone helped them. The USS Horizon was just one small ship with 40 crew members, but they were all these aliens had. Amy, send a priority message to Earth Command, Jake ordered. Tell them we've made first contact with a friendly alien species in desperate need of help. Give them our exact location and tell them to send every ship they can spare. How long will it take for help to arrive? Ryan asked. At least 2 days, Lisa said. Maybe 3. Jake looked at the alien ships again. 3 days might be too long. Ryan, take a team over to one of their ships. See if you can figure out how to help them. Dr. Wright, keep working on the translation. Amy, keep that communication line open. What are you going to do, Captain? Ryan asked. Jake smiled, but his eyes were serious. I'm going to make sure that 50,000 people don't die on my watch. Human or alien, it doesn't matter. We're going to save them all. 18 hours after Jake Martinez sent his message to Earth, the answer came back. It was not just a message. It was the largest fleet of human ships ever assembled in one place. Captain, you need to see this, Amy Stone said from her communication station. Her voice was full of excitement. Jake hurried to the bridge of the USS Horizon. Through the viewing window, he could see lights appearing in space. Ship after ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Big ships, small ships, military ships, and civilian ships. They kept coming until space around them was full of human vessels. How many ships? Jake asked. Lisa Park checked her instruments. 47 ships, Captain. I count 12 medical ships, 15 engineering vessels, 10 supply ships, and 10 military escorts. The largest ship in the fleet was huge, 3 times bigger than anything Jake had ever seen. It was painted white, with red crosses on its sides. That's the USS Mercy, Amy said, reading from her screen. It's the biggest hospital ship Earth ever built. And Captain, I'm getting a message from Admiral Patricia Hayes. She's in command of the rescue fleet. Jake had heard of Admiral Hayes. She was one of the best officers in the Earth Navy. If she was here, it meant Earth Command was taking this very seriously. "Put her through," Jake said. The main screen changed to show a woman in her 50s with short gray hair and kind eyes. She wore the uniform of an Earth Navy admiral. "Captain Martinez," Admiral Hayes said. "I've read your reports. You did the right thing coming here first and asking questions later. How are our new friends doing?" "Not good, Admiral. Their ships are failing fast. We've got maybe 2 days before they start losing life support completely. Then we better get to work. I'm bringing the USS Mercy alongside the largest alien ship. We're going to start moving their sick and injured to our medical facilities. I've also brought our best engineers and enough portable fusion reactors to power a small city." Jake felt relief wash over him. Earth had not abandoned the aliens. Instead, they had sent everything they could spare. "Admiral, there's something else you should know. These aliens call themselves the Zephyrins. They're refugees. Their home world was destroyed, and they've been traveling through space for years looking for a new home." Admiral Hayes nodded. "That makes this even more important, Captain. Nobody should die alone in space, especially not entire families." Over the next few hours, Jake watched the human rescue fleet organize itself with military precision. The USS Mercy, commanded by Captain Steve Johnson, moved carefully toward the largest Zephyrian ship. Captain Steve was known throughout the fleet as the best hospital ship commander in human space. Dr. Maria Santos came aboard the USS Horizon with a team of scientists and doctors. She was Earth's top expert on alien life, though until now she had only studied microbes and simple creatures. This was her first chance to meet intelligent aliens. "Captain Martinez," Dr. Santos said when she arrived on the bridge, "I need to know everything about these Zephyrians. Their biology, their culture, anything you've learned." "Dr. Wright has been working on their language," Jake said. "She can tell you what we know." Dr. Wright joined them and shared her notes. "They breathe air like we do, and they seem to have similar body temperatures. Their leader, Admiral Kethler, has been very cooperative. He seems genuinely grateful for our help." "Good," Dr. Santos said. "That will make medical treatment much easier." The engineering teams were led by Bobby Turner, a chief engineer with 20 years of experience fixing broken ships. Bobby was a tough man who never gave up on a problem. He came aboard the USS Horizon with cases full of tools and equipment. "Captain," Bobby said, "I've been studying the scans of their ships. Their technology is different from ours, but the basic physics is the same. I think we can save most of their fleet if we work fast." Jake watched through the viewing window as human engineers in spacesuits flew between the Zephyrian ships. They carried portable fusion reactors and emergency power cables. The work was dangerous because of the radiation from the dying star, but nobody complained. Captain Karen Smith and Captain Tony Rodriguez commanded the engineering vessels. Their ships were full of repair equipment and spare parts. They positioned their vessels next to the most damaged Zephyrian ships and began emergency repairs. Captain Linda Brown led the supply ships. Her vessels carried food, water, medicine, and air recycling equipment. Everything the Zephyrians might need to survive. While their ships were being repaired, Captain Paul Clark commanded the military escort ships. His job was to protect the rescue fleet, though Jake hoped they would not need protection. So far, the Zephyrians had been nothing but grateful and cooperative. "Captain Martinez," Admiral Hayes called from the USS Mercy. "I'm about to meet with Admiral Kethler in person. Would you like to join us? You made first contact, so you should be part of this." Jake felt honored. "Yes, Admiral, I'll be right there." Jake took a small shuttle from the USS Horizon to the USS Mercy. The hospital ship was amazing inside, with wide corridors and bright lights. Medical teams were already preparing to receive Zephyrian patients. Admiral Kethler was waiting in the main conference room. Jake was surprised by what he saw. The Zephyrian leader was tall, maybe 7 feet, with blue-gray skin that seemed to shimmer in the light. His face was long and narrow, with large golden eyes that showed intelligence and sadness. Captain Martinez. Admiral Keffler said in careful English. Dr. Wright had been teaching him human words. You are the one who first answered our call for help. Yes, Admiral. Admiral Keffler stepped forward and placed his long-fingered hand on Jake's shoulder. My people will remember this forever. You came to help strangers. You did not know if we were friends or enemies, but you came anyway. Admiral Hayes stepped forward. Admiral Keffler, I speak for all of humanity when I say we are honored to help you. No intelligent being should face extinction alone. Admiral Keffler's golden eyes seemed to glow brighter. Admiral Hayes, Captain Martinez, your species, has shown us something we had almost forgotten after so many years of loss and wandering. You have shown us that there is still kindness in the universe. Jake looked around the room at the human and Zephyrian officers working together. Outside, hundreds of human engineers and doctors were risking their lives to save aliens they had never met before. This was humanity at its best. This was what made them special in the galaxy, even if they did not know it yet. The rescue operation began at dawn on the second day after the human fleet arrived. Captain Steve Johnson stood on the bridge of the USS Mercy, watching as the first group of 6 Zephyrians were brought aboard his hospital ship. The aliens looked weak and tired. Their blue-gray skin had turned pale from radiation sickness. Some could barely walk, supported by human medics who guided them carefully through the ship's corridors. Dr. Maria Santos worked in the main medical bay, treating a young Zephyrian who could not have been more than a child. The small alien's golden eyes looked up at her with trust, even though they had never seen a human before. Their biology is more similar to ours than I expected, Dr. Santos told Captain Johnson over the communication system. Our medicines work on them, and our medical equipment can monitor their vital signs. It's like we were meant to help each other. Meanwhile, Bobby Turner floated in space near one of the most damaged Zephyrian ships. He wore a radiation-proof spacesuit and carried a portable fusion reactor on his back. The work was dangerous, but Bobby had volunteered for the hardest jobs. Ryan, can you hear me? Bobby spoke into his radio. Ryan Cole was inside the Zephyrian ship, working with their engineers to connect the human power source to their systems. I hear you, Bobby. The Zephyrian engineers are amazing. They understand their technology better than anyone, and they're teaching me things I never knew about fusion power. Inside the alien ship, Ryan worked alongside a Zephyrian engineer named Veltar. Even though they could not speak each other's languages very well, they communicated through hand signals and drawings. Engineering was a universal language. Veltar showed Ryan how the Zephyrian power cores worked. They were more advanced than human fusion reactors, but the radiation from the dying star had damaged the special crystals that controlled the fusion reaction. Ryan pulled out a human control circuit from his tool kit. It was simpler than the Zephyrian crystal, but it would work. Together, he and Veltar installed the human part into the alien system. Bobby, try the power now, Ryan said. Bobby activated the portable fusion reactor. Light appeared throughout the Zephyrian ship as power flowed through its systems. The ship's air recycling system hummed back to life. It works, Veltar said in broken English, his golden eyes bright with joy. This success was repeated throughout the fleet. Human engineers worked with Zephyrian technicians on ship after ship, creating hybrid systems that combined the best of both technologies. Captain Karen Smith's engineering vessels supplied parts and tools, while Captain Tony Rodriguez coordinated the repair teams, but not all the ships could be saved. Captain Jake Martinez led evacuation teams aboard the vessels that were too damaged to repair. These ships were dying, their hulls cracked by radiation, their life support systems beyond help. Everyone stay calm. Jake said as he guided a group of Zephyrian families through the dark corridors of their failing ship. The aliens carried small children and helped elderly members of their community. Even in their fear, they remained organized and helped each other. Jake was amazed by their courage. These people had lost their homeworld, traveled through space for years, and now they were losing their ships. But they did not panic. They trusted the humans to save them. Captain Martinez, one of the adult Zephyrians, said in careful English, "Thank you for not leaving us behind." "We don't leave people behind," Jake replied. "That's not who we are." Dr. Helen Wright worked from the communication center aboard the USS Horizon, coordinating between human and Zephyrian crews. Her translation work had improved greatly, and now she could speak basic Zephyrian language. "All teams, this is Dr. Wright," she announced over the fleet communication system. "The Zephyrians are reporting that 17 ships cannot be saved, but all the people on those ships are being evacuated successfully. The remaining ships will be operational within 12 hours. The work continued around the clock. Human medics treated thousands of sick Zephyrians. Human engineers repaired hundreds of damaged systems. Human supply ships provided food, water, and medicine to an entire alien civilization. Captain Linda Brown's supply vessels worked like a well-organized machine. Her crews loaded supplies onto small shuttles and delivered them to every Zephyrian ship. The aliens were amazed by human efficiency and generosity. "They're giving us more food than we asked for," Admiral Keffler told Admiral Hayes during one of their regular meetings, "and they refuse to accept payment. They say helping people is its own reward." Admiral Hayes smiled. "That's humanity for you, Admiral. We tend to overdo it when we're trying to help." But as the rescue operation continued, a new danger appeared. Captain Paul Clark, commanding the military escort ships, detected something troubling on his long-range sensors. "Admiral Hayes," Paul reported, "the dying star is becoming unstable. Its radiation output is increasing rapidly. If this continues, the area will become lethal to both humans and Zephyrians within 6 hours." Admiral Hayes felt her heart sink. They had made such good progress, but now they were running out of time. How many ships still need repairs? 43 Zephyrian vessels are still not ready for faster-than-light travel, Captain Smith reported from her engineering ship. "And we still have 3,000 Zephyrians aboard our medical ships who are too sick to be moved," Dr. Santos added. Admiral Hayes made a quick decision. "All repair teams, this is Admiral Hayes. We have 6 hours to finish everything. I know you're tired, but 50,000 lives depend on us finishing this job." The human crews responded with determination. Engineers worked faster than they had ever worked before. Medical teams prepared the sickest Zephyrians for emergency transport. Supply crews distributed emergency life support equipment to every ship. Bobby Turner and his team performed miracles of engineering, connecting multiple human fusion reactors to power entire Zephyrian vessels. Ryan Cole and the Zephyrian engineers created new hybrid systems in hours instead of days. Jake Martinez led the final evacuation efforts, personally making sure that every Zephyrian was accounted for. Lisa Park calculated escape routes that would get the entire fleet away from the dying star as quickly as possible. With 1 hour remaining, the impossible happened. Every Zephyrian ship was either repaired or evacuated. Every sick alien was aboard a human medical vessel. The combined human Zephyrian fleet was ready to escape. "All ships, this is Admiral Hayes," came the announcement over the fleet communication system. "Prepare for emergency jump to faster-than-light speed. We're going home." The combined human Zephyrian fleet jumped to faster-than-light speed with only minutes to spare. Behind them, the dying star collapsed into itself, releasing deadly energy that would have killed everyone in the system. Jake Martinez stood on the bridge of the USS Horizon, watching the stars return to normal as they dropped out of faster-than-light travel. They were safe now, far from the dangerous radiation. Around them, hundreds of ships floated peacefully in space. "Report," Admiral Hayes called over the fleet communication system. One by one, the ship captains reported in. Every human vessel had made the jump safely. Every Zephyrian ship that could be repaired was working perfectly. All the evacuated aliens were safe aboard human vessels. Total casualties? Admiral Hayes asked. Dr. Maria Santos answered from the USS Mercy. 0 deaths, Admiral. We saved everyone. All 50,000 Zephyrians are alive and healthy. Jake felt tears in his eyes. They had done the impossible. An entire alien civilization had been saved through human courage and kindness. Admiral Kefler's voice came over the communication system. His words were clear now after days of learning English from Dr. Wright. "Admiral Hayes, Captain Martinez, all humans who helped us. My people have no way to thank you properly. You risked your lives for strangers. You spent your resources to save people you had never met. This is something we will never forget." "What will you do now?" Admiral Hayes asked. "Your ships are repaired, but you still need a home." There was a long pause before Admiral Kefler answered. "Admiral Hayes, we would like to request asylum in human space. We offer our knowledge and friendship in exchange for a place to live safely. We have much to teach about space travel, material science, and sustainable technology." Admiral Hayes looked at Jake through the communication screen. Jake nodded. This was the right thing to do. "Admiral Kefler, on behalf of Earth and all humanity, I welcome the Zephyrian people as our first interstellar allies. We will find you a good place to build a new home." The celebration lasted for hours. Human and Zephyrian crews visited each other's ships. Children from both species played together in the recreation areas. Engineers shared knowledge about their different technologies. Bobby Turner and Veltar, the Zephyrian engineer, had become close friends despite the language barrier. They worked together to design new hybrid fusion systems that were better than anything either species had built alone. Dr. Santos discovered that Zephyrian medical knowledge was centuries ahead of human medicine in some areas. The aliens knew how to treat diseases that humans had never encountered, and their surgical techniques were amazingly precise. Dr. Wright found that learning Zephyrian language opened new ways of thinking about mathematics and physics. The aliens had concepts that humans had never considered, and humans had ideas that amazed the Zephyrians. 3 months later, the Zephyrian fleet followed the human ships to the Proxima Centauri system. There, they began building New Zephyr, the first joint human-alien colony. The settlement grew quickly as both species worked together. The Zephyrians taught humans how to build closed-loop ecosystems that recycled everything perfectly. No waste, no pollution, just clean, sustainable living. Human cities on Earth began. Using Zephyrian technology to solve environmental problems, humans taught Zephyrians about democratic government and individual freedom. The Zephyrian society had been organized around family groups, but they quickly learned to appreciate human ideas about personal choice and self-determination. Jake Martinez was promoted to admiral and put in charge of the new interspecies cooperation command. His job was to prepare humanity for contact with other alien species. The success with the Zephyrians proved that peaceful cooperation was possible. Dr. Wright became Earth's first alien cultural liaison. She traveled between human and Zephyrian communities, helping both species understand each other better. Her translation work had grown into something much more important. Dr. Santos led the new Xenobiology Institute, where human and Zephyrian scientists worked together to understand life in the universe. They made discoveries that neither species could have made alone. Bobby Turner and Ryan Cole founded the Hybrid Technology Corporation, developing new machines that combined human and Zephyrian engineering. Their fusion reactors were so efficient That energy became almost free on human worlds, but the real test came 6 months after the rescue. Long-range sensors detected a large fleet of unknown ships approaching both human and Zephyrian space. The ships belonged to something called the Hegemony, a military empire that conquered other species. Admiral Martinez, the report came from. The outer sensor stations. The Hegemony fleet has over 300 warships. They're demanding that humans surrender the Zephyrian refugees or face destruction. Jake prepared for the worst. The human fleet was strong, but not strong enough to fight 300 enemy warships. The Zephyrians had some weapons, but they were refugees, not soldiers. Then something amazing happened. 12 different alien species arrived to help defend human and Zephyrian space. They came from across the galaxy, bringing hundreds of ships and thousands of warriors. Why are you helping us? Jake asked the leader of the alien coalition. Because the story of human kindness has spread throughout the galaxy, the alien replied. When the Hegemony threatened the Corlin refugees, humans sent medical aid. When the Trilith faced starvation, humans sent food ships. When the Vex High were trapped by a cosmic storm, humans risked their lives for a rescue. Jake was confused. But we never met any of those species before. The Zephyrians told everyone about your rescue operation. They spread the word that humans help anyone in need, even strangers. Now all the peaceful species want to be allied with humanity. The Hegemony fears us because we are united. The Hegemony fleet took one look at the massive alliance defending human space and decided to look for easier targets elsewhere. Peace was preserved without a single shot being fired. 1 year after the rescue at Kepler 442, Admiral Jake Martinez stood on the observation deck of the new starbase Unity. Through the large windows, he could see ships from 15 different species working together. Human children played with Zephyrian younglings in the parks of New Zephyr, the rescue operation that began with one small ship answering a distress call had grown into something incredible. Humanity had become the leaders of the largest peaceful alliance in the galaxy, all because they had chosen to help strangers in need. Jake smiled as he watched the future being built by many species working together. Sometimes doing the right thing led to rewards nobody could have imagined.